Have you ever wondered where the happiest people in the world live? I have often wondered if there's a specific place in the world that inhabits happier people. Luckily, there are studies done every year which show which people are the happiest and which countries are the happiest. The happiest countries tend to always be the Nordic countries. Why, you might ask? Well, I have been interested in these studies and have been trying to understand what makes these countries so happy. I have come to find out that there are certain social factors and policies that improve the way of life of the Nordic countries. I think that by learning about how other countries and why they are so happy can help us apply some of those things into our own country. Although I have never been to any of the Nordic countries, I believe that we don't have to go to every single place in the world to try to understand their culture. Maybe some of you have been to some of these countries or are even from these countries. You can ponder upon your own experiences there, and if not, it's always interesting to try to understand other people's ways of life. I would love to share some of the social factors and policies that influence the happiness levels of the Nordic lifestyle. The cultural happiness occurs in the top 5 happiest countries, which are Switzerland, Iceland, Denmark, Norway, and our neighbor, Canada. Their policies and social factors that influence their happiness levels are some of the things I will touch on today. First, let's start out with how these studies are conducted. The United Nations conducts a World Happiness Report every year, and one of the main reasons the United Nations conducts these reports is to promote and encourage countries to improve the happiness levels of their people. They want to encourage leaders in different countries to improve the way of life for their people, especially in countries where the happiness levels were almost non-existent. Since the United Nations focuses on different aspects of human rights, encouraging leaders to push for social and political changes in their countries to boost happiness levels is very beneficial. The way the studies are conducted are through a ladder scale. So people indicate through the ladder scale how happy or unhappy they are with certain aspects in their country. They set up a ladder scale from 1 to 10, and they analyze factors that contributed to the feelings of happiness felt by the people. Countries all over the world are surveyed, even those not so visible on a map. Based on the results, they are sorted into categories of happiness. Those who rank the highest in certain categories of happiness are then listed as the happiest countries. These categories are ones that indicate a general happiness level and have to do with universal values. The happiest countries are those with longer life expectancies, high GDP, generosity, freedom to make choices, and they also have lower corruption rates. Based on these results, Switzerland is the happiest country in the world. Because Switzerland experiences such high ratings in some of these variables, in 2015 they were considered to be the happiest country. Their rating on average was a 7.5 out of 10 on the evaluation scale. Some facts that go along with those variables are that the Swiss have a life expectancy of 82, which based on the results is one of the highest and the longest life expectancies in the world. One of the reasons they feel happier and live longer is through their healthy lifestyle, which influences how we feel about ourselves, and then that externalizes itself, and it also helps us do activities we love. They are considered healthy since only 9% of their population is considered obese. Switzerland also hasn't been stricken by war because they haven't been involved in war for several centuries, which sometimes results in violence, low employment rates, and corruption. They have a universal healthcare system that has the lowest appointment waiting time in the world. In general, universal healthcare have extremely long waiting times, but the Swiss have figured out how to reduce the appointment waiting times and efficiently help their people have access to medical care. Based upon the happiness of Switzerland, and studies have showed that happy people live longer, they are more productive, and they earn more money and are better citizens. Although Switzerland ranks at the top of the ladder, the top 5 countries have some things in common. Based on the study, the top 5 feel that they play a big role in their government and feel that their views matter, opposed to the least happiest countries where their governments made them feel oppressed or where they believe their government was corrupt. Their freedom to express their opinions also play a big role in their happiness levels. Freedom is a big correlation with happiness, and something the least happiest countries are still fighting for. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development states that the top 5 countries are healthy and active. They feel they can do things they enjoy on their free time, which the United Nations has shown is a correlation with happiness. To give you a comparison with the US, which ranks as 15th in the World Happiness Report, where 1/3 of the population is obese, which is the highest in the OECD countries evaluated. According to the OECD, they also have low unemployment levels in all of these top 5 happy countries, which is another correlation with happiness. This, of course, allows people to be less stressed about an income and more apt to live and not just survive. Playing a big role in government, freedom to express their opinions, healthiness, and low unemployment rates are just a few of the similarities the happiest countries have in common. Another few similarities are the trust in their community, and they all stated being content with their universal health care, which covers all medical costs and is provided through and financed through their taxes. Another similarity was that they all shared a collective perspective in community and family. They are more prone to doing things as a community, and they have strong ties with their family members and even extended families, and they also all like to do things together. This shows that community and social ties are another big correlation with our happiness, and based on the study, they all felt they could trust their neighbor. The characteristic of trusting their neighbor also extended to a great trust in their government, which all the top 5 countries have in common. These social and cultural factors and policies are what makes happy countries and in return happy people. If you ever get the chance to go to any of these countries, you can try to observe its people and their countenance. If they seem happy, you'll know one of the reasons why. There are many ways that our countries can contribute to our happiness. Maybe now is not a bad time to buy a plane ticket and head to one of these happy places.